Hi Stampers, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. I'm so glad you're joining me today to create a new project. Today what I'm going to be focusing on is showing you how to create this homemade chevron with one piece of designer paper. This is a 4-layer card, but it's clean and simple. And let's get started with all the supplies you're going to need today. For cardstock, we're going to be using rich raspberry, 5.5 by 8.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4 in the center and folded. Whisper white, 5 3/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. Sorry about the odd measurement, but when I layered the perfect plum against the rich raspberry, I felt that it needed a little bit of pop there. So I added just a really thin outline of white. The third layer is going to be perfect plum, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm using Into the Woods designer paper today, 1.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. For inks, we're going to be using rich raspberry. And we need 2 stamp sets today. The first one is Remarkable You, which comes in 2 clear mount boxes because the stamps are so large, and I love this stamp set. We're going to be using this leaf image. And for the second stamp set, we're going to be using Birthday Blossoms, and the best day ever is the sentiment we're going to use on our card for today. Other miscellaneous supplies, you're going to need a pair of scissors, your bone folder, and a ruler. So let's get started on making the chevron first. So let me clear my space. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this over on the side that we don't want to use. And we're going to be using our grid paper to help us out a little bit today. I'm going to line this up. You can see where the dark lines are. I'm going to put that right in the corner. And what I want to do is create a line halfway through. So I'm going to go at the 3/4 inch mark. And if you'll see, I need this line right here. And if I go straight across, I can line up my ruler. That's why I like using the grid paper, because it's a really big help. So I'm going to make a line across. Then we're going to turn it over and again put it in the corner. And every 3/4 inches we're going to make another line. And an easy way to count is using, you go 1 2 1 2 1 2 for those of you that don't know your fractions. So I have 6 lines here, so I'm going to go 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's my next square. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And again 6. And one more. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So when you're done, you should have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 squares by 2. Now you're going to bring in your scissors, and we're actually going to snip on the line, skip a line, snip the next one, skip a line, snip the next one. So you're going to have 4 panels on the first. Now we're going to flip it over, and since the line is cut right here, you're going to go over to the opposite one. So you want them opposite to each other. So again, you've got 1, skip 1, go to the next one, skip 1, and go to the next one. Now that's all the cutting we're going to do. Now we're going to bring in our bone folder, and we're going to do a little bit of folding. So using the first snip, bring that over to the line in the center and fold. go to the adjoining one, bring it to the line, and fold. So let's do all of the ones in the first row. Fold. So you're going to have little pointy V's at the top of each. You're using 2 squares to complete 1 V. And of course, depending on how long your cardstock piece is that you're going to cover, determines the length of your chevron, because I wanted to cover the perfect plum across. Okay, now we have 1 left over at the end. You're still going to fold it. Okay, so this is what your first side looks like when you flip it over. Look how nice that looks. So now let's flip it over to the second side. And again, bring it to the center and fold. To the center and fold. So you see how your chevrons are taking place. So we're going to keep going. And I only put 1 row of these on my card. You could actually do multiple rows and either space them apart, or you could actually butt them up against each other and use different patterns or different colors. I think that would make for a really nice card. And here's my last one. Isn't that neat how that takes shape? So now what we're going to do is bring in our snail adhesive. And all I do is go down diagonally on each strip. And then I'm going to bring in my perfect plum. And I'm going to glue it about 1/2 inch from, oops, I'm a little crooked there, 1/2 inch from the bottom. And you may have to trim a little bit when you glue it. I just have a little bit sticking out here. Okay, look how neat that looks. Now let's get some stamping done. So I'm going to bring in my rich raspberry ink and the large leaf image. And I'm going to put one way in the corner. And then I'm going to add some little ones over on the bottom. And before I add the last leaf image, I'm going to add my sentiment. And then we'll stamp one more of the leaf image in the corner. Look how nice that looks. Okay, let me put my ink away. Now we're going to just glue our layers together. So I'm going to bring in my bone folder and my white. And again, this is just going to be a little sliver showing over the rich raspberry and under the perfect plum. I did forget to mention that I am using rhinestone jewels on this card, and we're just going to add a few of them just to add a little bit of bling. Can't do a card without adding a little bit of bling somewhere. And there you have it. That's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed this technique, and I hope you'll give it a try. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on YouTube or to send me an email. And I'll have all the card supplies listed at the end of my video and the link to my online store. Have a good day.